Now it's on. Okay. Gotcha. So anyway, any questions on any of the city operations? We do state audit in the city hall today. They are going back to 2015. So everyone, that question is asked at our last regular meeting, and yes, they are going back to 2015. And our financial auditors, they've asked for some more information. They are still looking to have the audit done this month. So hopefully at our next regular meeting, we'll have a presentation prepared and ready from the auditors. Not the state auditors, but the ones that we've hired for last fiscal year. And any other questions for the council of the whole? All right, we'll go through committee reports then. Street distribution.
Only thing I've got, the city's getting ready to purchase a crack sealing machine for about $1,300 and some change. We're starting to get a lot of cracks on this new pavement down Georgia Street, and need to get ahead of the game on it. So we're gonna do that, and that's really all I've got.
Any questions on streets or distribution?
Just some people were wondering how much longer the Maryland Street project continuing for the.
So I spoke with Commissioner Allen this morning, and they just authorized the change order request for the manhole sewer redirection. So they should be starting to work on that again they're going to redirect the sewer.
Did we ever find out where that was going? Or where it was coming from? We know where it's going, where it was coming from.
Yeah, so as long as everyone's clear what's going on during the construction or the digging out the embankment and stuff for the new Maryland Bridge, they got into a 10-inch sewer main, one of our main, well, it's our main that goes down the town branch center of it. DNR knows it, we know it. It goes down the center of it. It's buried underneath the town branch. One of the reasons why the city can't go through with heavy equipment and dig out. There are sewer lines that run in that. So they busted that line. Our crew went down there and repaired it, put a new section in there. So the concern now is the way the pipe is running into the embankment. It's in the way for the footings and the headers for the support of the main bridge. So they put it in a change order to redirect that line from manhole to manhole and get in that, bypassing that whole area. And the city or the county commissioners have taken that additional cost on with the TAP grant and funding it.
So it's not gonna be on us.
They've obligated, funds to get that accomplished. So
back to the original question, how
how long, I think the intention is before any of these setbacks, the intention was be completed by September. So we're probably looking at October, 1st of November, if I was to guess, but they have not given me a direct, outside of the original timeline of September. But since it's been about three to 4 weeks and additional work, I'm going to guess it's going to be closer to the end of October, 1st November. All right.
I've got a question too, on streets. Speaking of bridges and stuff, isn't there supposed to be a new bridge going in down there by the Lutheran church and
Yes.
by Rain Tree Shop? Is that happening?
So it's not it's an extent widening it so they can have pedestrian traffic over it and shoulders.
Because I thought that was gonna happen in the spring.
Well, so they approved it and they haven't let out for bids on it yet. But it is in the works and the work is planning to start this summer. The last I've spoke with the commissioners.
They had one property owner that needed to be contacted yet. I think they got in touch with them or the last part of last week.
Okay.
Once they get her approval,
easement and all that, they're good to go.
Okay.
And yet another one on the streets.
Mhm.
I'm mowing my grass and I get stopped mowing the grass from people walking by saying, when are you gonna stop people from speeding up and down Georgia Street? And number one, I really do not want us to speed bumps. I'm not even sure legally we can, considering it's a state road. But second, have we thought any more about what we can do? Can we get that radar detector trailer out to let people know that they're speeding, or can the police? I know I saw a police car down there a week and a half ago. It looked like they were looking out to the tickets. So that would be one certain way, you know, attack the speeders' pocketbooks.
Right,
But it's definitely, people are wondering about how many people are going down the road speeding.
Right.
in Georgia.
right.
I'm hearing the same thing.
And the bad thing about that, it's kind of, it's kind of hard to judge. I mean, you can tell when someone's going fast, right? The radar trailer that we have in the back belongs to the Mark Twain Regional Council of Governments. It's out of service. And we looked at, you put in a new battery.
Batteries, there's a circuit board,
Uh-huh.
and they've never come and got it.
So, okay.
I don't know of anybody that knows how to fix it.
Okay, I'll reach out to Mark Twain Regional Council and ask them. I mean, it's not our property, so we really gotta ask them, if they're willing to fix it or what their plans are. And then see if we're willing to do anything at all to,
Yeah, and I can substantiate with Steve, it's, I mean, I got a couple friends, every time I see them, they're in my grill about people speeding on Georgia Street.
Mhm.
And, whether it's an issue or not, people are thinking it's an issue, we probably need to do something about it.
Well,
Yeah.
Whatever it is we can do, I don't know.
I'd be fair, and I'm not trying to diminish it by any means, but I imagine even when Councilman Giltner was the mayor, there was issues with people speeding down Georgia Street.
Yeah, I'm sure there.
The mayor was probably leading them.
At least he wasn't riding in a motorcycle.
Or revving the engine of his pickup truck at 2 AM.
Yeah, loud.
hear anything out of me on speeding.
So there's several issues, speeding,
No.
loud exhaust, music, even these side by sides, revving them up and going up and down the streets. So there's all they take is some sort of solution. I don't know what's going to be the best solution, but
I don't either. The one solution that I absolutely do not want to see is speed bumps, but I guess maybe a caution light, the radar truck, I don't know. The police cars out there, tickets.
Doing warnings today, this warning week.
Yeah.
Kind of hard when you only got one police officer.
But then that's,
Yeah,
He's in one place, he can't be in two places.
that's right. And I mean, as we know from Don's reports, I mean, we're still trying to get the police officer regiment up.
so I mean, it's noted. It's,
Yeah.
It's-
We're kind of in a rock and hard place.
Yeah.
I realize.
That's all we have.
okay. So anything with infrastructure, ground, street, sidewalk, they're the same. You're good? Okay. Public safety, police hiring, Councilman Giltner.
Yes. Bad news, the police officer we hired decided not to come with us and he went with somebody else. The reason being that he was supposedly hired by Bowling Green to go to the schools and talk to the schools about the law and so forth, and he would rather be on patrol and be out in the public. And Bowling Green changed their mind and offered him a position to be out in all their territories, and it was more enticing to him.
More money.
It's too bad because he was a good candidate, but now there's a chance that for the police committee, I'd like, I'll be calling a meeting in the next 2 weeks. And to see we need to reach out to the academies, we need to reach out to, the highway patrol, we need to reach out wherever we can. It's a possibility, you know, if they're, being taken, if they're offered better situations than, we have, then, we need to be selling ourselves better than what we are. And I'll take the blame on that. The, our, detective is, on the job and, Corey, you have anything to add to that?
We're still waiting to see if we're gonna get a full commitment from him over Bowling Green. Bowling Green's trying to offer him more money to get him to stay up there.
Okay,
So the other guy that we lost, we actually lost to Pike County, to the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Because he wanted the bigger areas of patrol. But with our detective, we're still in a, where he's making a decision whether he wants to leave Bowling Green or come down here.
okay. That's the problem we're having. We've had candidates from, Monroe City, we've had them from Rawls County. We've had, some that's just come out of the academy, and, we're just gonna have to, do a better job at selling, plus I think we're gonna have to look at money. And, of course, that's something that, you know, we'll get into in the budget and so forth. We have the chief told me today that we have a chance for another candidate that, could possibly come with us, and, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But, it's not that we're not trying to hire them, we hire them right on the spot. And, you know, it's just,
What I'd like to know is how in the heck are we losing out to Bowling Green all the time?
Money.
Bowling Green has a much better retirement plan. Their insurance is top notch. And, you know, the police and the community's relationship, where we read on Facebook where members of the community are bashing the police all the time, nobody wants to come from that. So,
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I think it's a bigger question, you know. I think we need to sit down and do an evaluation as to what we need to do
we need,
to start turning this tide, because this is crazy.
we need 3 more officers, to fill our quota that, we're allowed, but, you know, maybe if it requires more money and everything, we can look at 2
I mean, because-
and, see how that would work.
I mean, policing has to be a priority.
Yes, but, our policemen are doing a very good job, and, and we just don't have, you know, the manpower.
Right.
They can only do so much. And, so we are trying. And we are aware of it, as you heard tonight, so
Is there,
the committee is committed
Yeah.
to, hiring good officers, just not somebody on 2 legs.
I'm just brainstorming ideas, it's supposed to be a work session, so that's what I'm doing. Is there any chance of going to 2 officers? So that we can then take that extra money and apply it to retirement package or raise the original base pay some?
Well,
Or the other option is if we went to 2, can we then maybe hire a part-time person as like a community service aide? So that they would be taking care of some of the lesser calls. I don't know, I'm just.
There's a lot
brainstorming
of
ideas.
problems in that, Steve, because, it involves all of our city employees.
Right,
You know, so we have to be careful how we do that. You know, of course, the position, I wouldn't be a policeman. I just wouldn't. It's not in my DNA. But,
I'm just trying to
So-
brainstorm.
One of the things that we need to do is probably get the data in front of us. What it would take to put all city employees in the top tier of the logger system for our retirement?
Right.
Instead of being at the lower tier. Right now, none of us sitting up here can tell us, tell anybody, well, how much is that gonna cost? So
Yeah.
we need to get that data in front of us. And then we can look, I think we are competitive with our starting wages, however, one of the things that we don't really have is a longevity type of a program, which, we only have a couple officers, right? So it's kind of hard to have a longevity program when you don't have multiple officers, but you don't want someone starting new their first year making someone the same amount of money. Someone's been here
Comparative salaries is.
and stuff, so we need to spread that out, and then versus being competitive with a starting wage, maybe, we need to be, very advantageous, having the best starting wage in Pike County.
What if, is there another way too, so that we work on the longevity aspect of it? Can we do like a bonus for 1 year or 18 months down the road? If you're with us for, a year, or if you're with us for 18 months, you get $1,000 bonus or something like that.
I know in the private sector, that's a lot of private companies want to do that instead of committing to a salary.
And maybe
I-
that would be the workaround on the resident, on the retirement
Yeah.
issue too.
The biggest thing we'd have to verify, make sure that we can do that on a government, if we can do that. That'd be the only thing that we'd have to check. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I know the private sector does it a lot. They rather give you a bonus than an increase in salary.
Which
But
is what I would.
yeah. So, that's something to look into. I don't have the answer for that. But both of those, we need to look at the pension. What is it gonna take? There's 3 tiers, my understanding. And we're at tier 1, there's tier 2 and tier 3. So we need to look at the cost for tier 2 and tier 3, but if we're really gonna change that, and we ought to be looking at tier 3 if we can. Just for doing, we need all the costs so we can compare, but
Well, this is something we can't rush into, that we have to make it right with, all of our
Right,
people.
everybody's.
And, but two, it's a different type of department too. So that's something we can think about down the road.
okay,
That's all I have.
all right. Ordinance,
I'm not sure where we are. I know the last time we talked, we were talking about the RV situation. And I don't know if there's we haven't met since then. So I'm not sure where we stand on that.
okay. So, with that being said, and that's, the planning and zoning probably needs to get back together and look at, there is a recommendation that they're thinking about presenting to the council, using light industrial zones and allowing RV campgrounds.
In those light.
And the biggest issue that we have, and we will address and need Mary to kind of go over it, is with our current ordinance as far as there's no residential living in an RV camper. We allow up to 18 months with a permit, and we do have campgrounds now that people are actually literally living there and beyond 18 months. So that's an issue that we're working on, but we want to make sure that we approach it right, fair and equitable. We're not trying to put out any of the RV campers out of business by any means, but we do want everyone to follow the ordinance and have consistency across the board for everyone. And I think each of y'all received a letter from a campground, and we haven't even responded to that yet. That just kind of got the ball rolling, letting, what are we thinking? I already shared what we're thinking, and with the planning and zoning and so forth. So we're we're going to line item a response to that with Mary's approval to that. And the goal isn't to shut down anyone or to fine anyone or anything like that. The goal is to find consistency for anyone that's operating a campground in the city limits. I know a lot of people are looking for places to live, and RVs are not meant to be permanent structures sitting in a spot for any significant amount of time.
And one of the reasons I would like to see an ordinance on that soon is because, I mean, the city could potentially be liable if there was a fire, and as close as those RVs, at least on that one park, if there was a fire, I don't see how they could possibly get out of there. They're just too close. So that's one, and then we'd be potentially liable, because why are we allowing them to live there when, you know, we aren't supposed to be?
So the plan is to line item that, have Mary check off on it and bring it back to the council
Plus,
and work on that.
the fairness issue too, in essence, they are temporary dwellings like a hotel. But the hotels have to charge a hotel tax. And the RV parks aren't doing that. So it's a loss of money on our part, plus it's also a loss of, it hurts the hotel in town.
Those are things that can be changed by ordinance. When the pipeline came through, we amended the ordinances twice for the RVs. And we had RVs all over town. You know, people renting out their yards and things like that, so
But not for 3 years at a time.
no,
No. So yeah, it's,
but it does bring people in too.
anything else? All right. Councilman Phillips?
Yeah, on a personal note, I've gotten some clarification on what's gonna be going down now in terms of my cancer treatment plan. It's been rather chaotic, so I haven't been able to really focus on this. I still am working on some things, and I would like to have a meeting of the Economic Development Committee here in the next couple of weeks or so. We can start maybe, what I wanna do is take a look at the comprehensive community plan, specific goals with respect to economic development, and start trying to formulate some things in terms of ideas to start moving forward. I start my next round of chemo on Wednesday, so I'm gonna have a lot of downtime. And I should be able to at least be able to start looking at some of this stuff and taking a look at it. The other thing with tourism, we've all heard a lot of comments about the festival this weekend. I'm not gonna say disappointing necessarily, but or negative or critical, but disappointing. And I think in the future, as we move forward with this stuff, we just need to make sure that, the city is benefiting both financially as well as, meeting the goals and objectives they have in something like that. Yeah, there are a lot of disappointed people from people that I've talked to, so.
So are others vendors.
It's a variety of people, citizens, it just, they were disappointed. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong, I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing.
All right. Anything else?
No,
Okay.
The one thing that I noticed is, we're, according to our comprehensive plan, we're trying to promote the riverfront more. And yet we had the carnival down there, but almost nothing else. So there was nothing else to draw people to that riverfront. And I think that we need to really keep in mind when we're doing festivals, whether it be, especially, the festival coming up next is going to be Colorfest. So when Colorfest, usually everything is centered toward Georgia Street. But if we're going to promote that riverfront as the place to come to, and if we're going to promote that as a, city destination, we gotta have something down there. And that means we probably need to be looking at marking out spaces for vendors, et cetera, there, and maybe pushing things more that
You gotta
direction.
be careful there because half this town's fishermen, half this town's boaters, that's where they park. That's the problem. Because they should be over, vendors and everything should be over to the left and you leave the locals that be able to
Get into that.
their
Yeah,
thing.
ODOT.
Right. So, but can we do that? Can we push vendors further down Georgia Street toward the riverfront and put riverfront vendors, et cetera, on that left-hand side? Leaving open the pier.
Traditionally, been down there at the Color Fest.
Pardon?
Traditionally, the car show has been down there on the.
Car show.
riverfront
Right.
At the Color Fest,
Motorcycle show.
and that's draws a lot of people.
If-
People love it.
If the car show is again happening this year. But we definitely need to be thinking about moving things. If the car show is there, that's great. If the car show isn't, then we need to move it that direction, I think. And the same thing is, if the car show, think about how far the car show comes up, then we need to move things down to meet the car show.
Well, Councilman Twitchell, I might, if you have time and interest, I'm suggest attending the chambers meetings on Color Fest
Okay.
and stuff, and give some input from the city side on that, if you got time.
Yeah.
Any of us are members of the chamber, so we pay for the entire city hall to be members, so every one of us has the right to be there and talk and voice our concerns and issues. But yeah, we can share that with them.
The other thing that, again, if we're kind of in the work session mode and trying to review what went right, what went wrong. The fact that there was no music or anything at the Spring Fling when you were down there on the streets really reduced the festival feel. There just wasn't a festival feeling because there was no music. Now, the music could be live music, which would be great, but it could also be recorded music. It could be a DJ. It could be just a pre-recorded tape that's being played. But there needs to be some feeling of festivity down there, and the music is certainly adds to that.
So, not to, I'm gonna stop this discussion. Cause it's really an LMC discussion more than it is, a council of the whole. I'm not trying to downgrade it by any means, but we need to, that's kind of an LMC deal. It's the same body. It's confusing, but tonight we gotta focus on our city stuff. No, I'm not being disrespectful on that. It's just, I hear what you're saying and we
I'm
do.
trying to figure out what
Yeah.
went wrong.
Yeah, because we don't have as far as I know, the LMC will eventually be getting together to do a closeout of the whole event and review and do exactly what you're talking about. So,
Just let me know when.
okay. Housing, health, senior services.
While we're on tourism, you want to give radio spots for 3rd of July? Is this the time for that? or
Right.
later?
I said yes earlier, but probably won't be. Probably won't be.
That's fine.
Something else with the housing, senior services and disadvantage, we don't have a specific committee that deals with dangerous buildings, and it probably should have been brought up under the council of the whole. Just let the council be aware that we are holding hearings tomorrow for our condemned properties, 3 properties, one at the Stearns Funeral Home. One's the Miller Law Office and the other one is the old glove factory right now. We do have condemnation paperwork. Everything's improved on the Bertha Hodges house, to tear down. We've been authorized to tear that down for the last 3 or 4 years. So we're looking at going ahead and moving forward with that.
When will those be?
The hearings
What time?
starts at 9:30 in the morning.
Here?
Yeah, yep. And the Gertha Hodges building, I know and there's been individuals concerned about the contents of the building and the structure and everything else. I don't know, I'll leave it up to the council's pleasure. It can all go to the dump as far as I'm concerned, or we can take pictures of what it is that's inside there and auction it off like Storage Wars and see if anyone wants to do it, but we won't let anyone in the building. We would have to take it out and put it in the yard and they pick it up, but they have to take everything. They just can't pick through it and leave the rest of it there, is my thoughts, but it's the council's thoughts on that, and we can take action on that at our next,
Something that we do,
huh?
do that.
Do what?
You don't have to be employed with the hat.
No, so basically the city has the right to reclaim anything on that property. If they left a Rolls Royce in a garage, we can take that and sell it. We can do whatever we need to do to reclaim our losses.
Any comments inside this?
No,
There's a hole in the roof that's been there for years. so-
there is 2 outside storage sheds that had boxes of stuff. And we emptied that out and put all those contents in the house and moved those little sheds out up towards the cemetery for now. And so the next phase would be to go ahead and go out. We already got bids and we already approved a bid to tear it down. And we just haven't acted on it yet. So, because at the time, there's people reaching out, trying to still figure out a way to save the house and so forth. So
Some things can't be saved.
that's why it's been prolonged as long as it has.
Most people think there is.
Well-
That's what we probably better off having a sale.
You know, the thing about it is, I mean, there might be glassware and everything else, but if you think about labor to go in there, get it out, set it up, then have a sale and advertise for it to sell a glass vase, you know, for $5. I mean, I'd rather, if we do something, I'd rather just sell salvage rates. Take pictures, here's what we got. If you highest bidder we'll set it out in the yard, and if we set it out in the yard, you have to haul it off, no trash left behind. This is just
I
my
assume
thoughts
they
on it.
can't go inside the building liability issues.
What's that?
A lot of times you'll take pictures like you're talking
Mhm.
about, and then put them on Facebook, as a like, well, Lumberyard, when they went out of business, did it.
Mhm.
They show the pictures, they say whoever has the highest bid, and we'll say June the 30th will be the winner. So it gave people about a week to keep checking back to the lumberyards, because we bought a bunch of stuff from the lumberyard. And it gave us a week to keep checking back to see. Well, yeah, probably
Mhm.
was. So Tim, you know how to do it.
Mhm.
You just gotta make sure that at 4 o'clock, to 4:01 is the deadline, not 4:02 or 4:01 in 1 second. You got, because
Mhm.
people rip you off.
Yeah,
It's a good idea. Everybody goes on computer and buys stuff nowadays.
so I'll bring it up at the next regular council meeting, and then we can take action on it. Just kind of getting it out there. All right, enterprise, public utilities. I know I've already kind of went over a couple of those things.
Nothing at this time. We can see what what's coming.
Okay. Community and employee relations. Okay, animal control. Tree commission.
Nothing.
Now 6 trees been removed from the cemetery.
Did we get it all cleaned up?
Yeah,
Really looking nice.
It looks better. It's a lot better.
Really looks nice.
all right. Any miscellaneous business? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. First and second, any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Opposed, like sign. All right, we're adjourned.